Hello, and welcome back to LIT, Lisa's Initial Thoughts. I just wanted to speak to you this new year, and I wanted to start off with to be like Christ. And I just wanted to come from the story of John the Baptist. We know that the angels came and they told Mary that she would have Jesus and told Elizabeth that she would have John. And we know that John was the forerunner for Christ. Well, I just wanted to say that, which I'm sure we all know. Well, down at the Jordan, when Jesus comes down and John's out there baptizing and preaching, John's like, man, he was so overwhelmed to see Christ, someone he had long talked about. And so, but what I admire about Christ is when he came on the scene, he didn't come on the scene to try to overshadow John. When he came on the scene, he had the utmost respect for John's ministry. And John was just like, wow, he's here. He was almost speechless, but, and he didn't even want to really baptize Jesus. But Jesus said, no, he had to get baptized. And, we know that the dove came down and gave confirmation. And then the Father speaks and said, this is my Son in whom I am well pleased. So we know that all of that took place out there that day in the Jordan. But the reason why I wanted to start off with to be like Christ is because I wanted us to know and wanted us to always remember that everyone has a gift. Jesus could have easily came on the scene and just say, okay, I'm here now and I got this, I'll take over. But he didn't do that. He had the utmost humility and respect for John. And in doing that, he allowed John to carry forth the ministry that he was given. And so I say to be like Christ is that we have to remember to step back sometimes from people who have been given ministries, and maybe we feel like we could do it better, or they need some help, or or something, and God has not even called us to do that. Sometimes you find people wanting to be in ministries that they have absolutely no talent regarding that ministry, have no knowledge of that ministry, but they want to be in that ministry. And God refers to them as busybodies. When Jesus saw John that day, he just had John baptize him. John went on to do what John had to do. John had disciples that were following him, that were still out spreading the word and bringing people down to the Jordan and brought them everywhere that John was out preaching. And many were added to the church through John. So I just wanted to say, to be like Christ is to be humble, to know what our boundaries are. Why would you try to direct the choir when you have no voice to sing? Why would you try to be in the finances of the choir when you have no degree or no knowledge at all of finances when it comes to that? Why would you try to be a deacon when you are clearly meant to be a deaconess because you're a woman? I mean, you just have to really, really, really be careful in what you're doing in the name of God, because God has given us all a talent, and we need to tap into what our talents are. If you can't preach, stop volunteering to always get up and preach. If you can't teach, stop volunteering to always get up and teach. Stay within your lanes and within your boundaries, like I just said. And let's be like Christ. Let's respect one another's gifts in the charge that God has given us to do. And that's basically all I wanted to say. I really admire how Jesus came on the scene and how he had the utmost respect for John, and how he allowed John to go forward with his ministry. And we know the story of John and how John's life ended. That was unfortunate, that there was a scheme and a scam and betrayal and everything that led to his death. But John will be in the kingdom. John will be in the kingdom. John lived up. I mean, people say that he had a little bit of doubt there in the end when he asked, was Jesus really the Christ? But God, that's between him and God. God will work that out. But anyway, I just wanted to say that as we start off this new year, let's start off this new year with integrity. Let's start off this new year with respecting one another. Let's start off this new year with, just love toward one another and just embracing one another and supporting one another's ministries. as God gives us the charge to go forward to help add to his kingdom. It's not about who's the best in what we do. It's about getting done what we have been called to do. So I just thank you so much just for tuning in to LIT, and I look forward to going through this new year with more food for thought. Thank you again for supporting my ministry.